Kindly rise. Please be seated. As Simon Sinek reminds us, when people are financially invested, they want a return. But when people are emotionally invested, they want to contribute. Jai Hind. A very good morning to all our guests, Mr. Aman Rajawali, President, NHRD and Pune Chapter, our panelist, Mr. Utkarsh Chaurange, AVP, Product Manager, Mr. Vishal Bhagat, General Manager HR, Global M&A, Policy Governance, and NHRD Core Team Member, Ms. Tina Rastogi, VP Human Capital Management, Ms. Pallavi Sarkar, VP HR and Admin for GIC, Mr. Vish Mehta, Human Resource Leader, Ms. Shweta Parekh, Head HR, NHRD and members, Ms. Pratika Hambade, NHRD General Secretary and Lead DEI COE, Mr. Simon Srivastav, NHRD Chapter Executive, Colonel Vinod Marwa, Founder, President and Managing Trustee in absentia, Dr. Jai Singh, Managing Director and Trustee, Dr. Poonam Nikam, Dean, faculty members, and the students of IIEPL. I am Paridhi Sharma, your MC for this special occasion, and it gives me immense pleasure to extend my warm greetings as we come together for the Leadership and Talent Symposium 2025, the flagship event of IIEPM Indus Business School, organized in collaboration with NHRD and Pune chapter. Before we advance into the day, I request you all to kindly rise for the national anthem. Please be seated. At this juncture, allow me to share the essence of what today represents. The Leadership and Talent Symposium 2025 is a flagship event of IIEBM in this business school. It has been conceived as a distinguished platform that brings together industry leaders, HR professionals, academicians, and aspiring managers to engage in thoughtful deliberations on the evolving dimensions of leadership and talent. Leadership today is not just about hierarchy or titles, it's about influence, vision, and the ability to adapt. And talent is not only about finding the right people, but also about nurturing, empowering, and enabling them to thrive. And that is exactly what today's symposium offers, a platform to learn, reflect, and exchange ideas with leaders who have devoted their lives to these pursuits. We are honored to host this event in collaboration with NHRDN and extend a warm welcome to its esteemed members present here today. NHRDN is a national apex body of professionals committed to advancing the people development movement in India. Recognized as a global center for grooming leaders, it has consistently enhanced the capabilities of HR professionals, creating lasting value for organizations and society alike. Your presence today adds immense value to this gathering. So, without further delay, let us now open the stage to our distinguished panelists, visionaries, who bring with them a wealth of knowledge, diverse experiences, and powerful insights on the future of leadership and talent management. It is my privilege to introduce our panelist, Mr. Utkarsh Chaurange, CSM, CSPO, a highly accomplished professional in digital payments and product management with more than 9 years of rich experience. He currently serves as Assistant Vice President, Product Manager at Kotak Mahindra Bank, where he leads the development of enterprise UPI solutions and advanced payment gateway offerings. His prior tenure at NPCI and NPCI International Payments Limited saw him contribute to landmark innovations in UPI, QR-based payments, cross-border transactions, and gateway solutions. A postgraduate from MIT School of Management, Pune, he is widely recognized for his agile mindset, leadership, and transformative impact in the fintech ecosystem. Please join me in giving him a warm welcome. I now request our MD, Dr. Jai Singh, to kindly felicitate Mr. Utkarsh Charangi. Sir, I request you to kindly proceed to the dais. Mr. Vishal Bhagat is a distinguished HR leader and transformation specialist with over 17 years of experience across global organizations, including Deloitte, IBM, Cognizant, and Abdul Latif Jameel. An engineer turned HR strategist, he blends analytical acumen with people centric solutions, specializing in HR, M&A, workforce planning, HR transformation, talent management, and leadership development. A recipient of the HR Rising Star Award 2025, he is also a prolific public speaker with 1100 plus sessions, a mentor to professionals and students, and a lifelong contributor to NHRDA, embodying excellence in both corporate and social spheres. A certified presenter, coach, and practitioner, he is also a published author on HR strategy, M&A, and diversity. Please join me in welcoming him. I now request our MD, Dr. Jai Singh, to kindly felicitate Mr. Vishal. Sir, I request you to kindly proceed to the dais. Our next panelist is Ms. Tina Rastogi, a distinguished HR leader with over 20 years of experience in shaping human capital strategy across IT, ITS, and manufacturing sectors. She currently serves as VP Human Capital Management at Cybit Software, where she leads the complete HR lifecycle and drives initiatives in leadership development, digital transformation, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Previously, she has held strategic HR leadership positions at Veroc, Infosys, and Emphasis, where expertise in organizational design, global team management, performance management, and M&A related HR activities. A certified professional in competency design, coaching, and behavioral interviewing, she is dedicated to building inclusive and high performing workplaces. Please join me in welcoming her. I now request our Dean, Dr. Poonam Nikam, to kindly felicitate Ms. Tina Rastogi. Ms. Pallavi Sarkar is an accomplished HR leader with nearly 2 decades of diverse experience spanning human resource management, people development, and project integration. She currently serves as the VP HR and admin at GIC, where she drives HR strategy, compliance, and organizational capability. Her career includes leadership roles at Norma Group, Schaeffler, Varroc, Terex, Cummins, Suzlon, and Kirloskar Pneumatic, where she established HR and L&D frameworks, led talent initiatives, and delivered impactful organizational transformations. Please extend her a gracious welcome. I now request our Dean Dr. Poonam Nigam to kindly felicitate Ms. Pallavi Sarkar. It is an honor to introduce Mr. Vish Mehta, a distinguished GCC transformation leader, HR strategist, and DEI advocate with over 2 decades of experience in building and scaling technology organizations across India. He has successfully led global capability center initiatives, established ODCs in healthcare, shared services, and mobility, and driven organizational excellence through innovation and collaboration. Currently serving as Human Resource Leader India at Coupa Software, he serves HR operations across multiple locations, leading initiatives in employee engagement, leadership development, retention, and cultural transformation. A recognized advocate for diversity and inclusion, Mr. Mehta has also served as an ERG board member and advisor to nonprofits, championing equitable workforces and the high performing teams. Please extend him a warm welcome. I now request Dr. Rati Shukla to kindly felicitate Mr. Vishnu. To guide us through today's engaging panel discussion on Gen Z in the workforce, redefining culture, career, and communication, we are privileged to have us with our moderator, Ms. Shweta Parekh. Ms. Parekh is a seasoned HR professional with over 14 years of extensive experience across talent management, employee engagement, employer branding, and HR business partnering. Currently heading the human resources functions at Frentas, she has been instrumental in shaping dynamic, collaborative, and agile workplace cultures. Her expertise spans across startups and established organizations with a strong focus on driving impactful HR strategies, nurturing talent, and fostering inclusive workplaces. She also serves as a membership ambassador for the Lean to Lead network and is recognized as one of Asia's top 30 HR leaders. Please extend her a gracious welcome. May I request Dr. Rati Shukla to kindly felicitate Ms. Shweta Parekh. I would now like to invite Dr. Jai Singh to kindly felicitate Mr. Aman Rajavali, President, NHRD and Pune Chapter. I would now like to invite Dr. Poonam Nikam to kindly felicitate Ms. Pratibha Hambarde, General Secretary of NHRD. I would now like to invite Dr. Rati Shukla to kindly felicitate Mr. Simon Srivastav, NHRD Chapter Executive. I would now like to invite Dr. Rati Shukla to kindly felicitate Ms. Simon Srivastav, NHRD Chapter Executive. I now request Ms. Parekh to take over and steer what promises to be a dynamic and thought-provoking discussion. Over to you. All right.
All right, so good morning, everyone. Can I have a bit louder good morning from everyone? Once more. All right, thank you so much. So, first of all, thank you, everyone. Thank you, the college, for having me here, and it's brilliant to be, around you all. My personal favorite people with whom I work day in day out recently, and yeah, among the brilliant HR minds with whom I'm sure today we're gonna get a lot of insights and understand that how the culture, the career, and the communication, which is like new language of work, is getting redefining with you people coming into the workforce. With this, let me tell you something about me, okay? So, I'm Shweta Parekh. I lead the people and skills at company called Flectus Technology. That's the organization which lives at the intersection of technology and client value. So I'm going to start with asking you about introducing you, as well as tell one thing that you learned from Gen Zs and which actually helped you and then you have implemented. So I'll start with me, and then you guys can continue. So a while back, one of the Gen Z who's working in my team came and just informed me. Okay, now informed is an important word about leave, and not and she did not request it. The reason was she had to attend some webinar, and then she informed me that she's going out, and then that's how she will not be able to come to the work. And the reason was clear, the purpose was clear, and the information was clear. That actually helped me to start implementing that in my team. And from then, in my team, there's no one who requests the leaves, but it's all about informing, because trust is what matters, and that has helped a long way. And the result, the impact, when you have that kind of connect, when the trust is there, you don't need approvals, you don't need request, right? It's the information. So that's what my thing which I have implemented. So now I would like to hear from you. So please introduce yourself and tell us like one thing that you actually learned from Gen Z and you implemented in your team or in your organization.
Hello, everybody. Am I audible at the back? Very nice. Thank you very much. It's so nice to see everybody. I've been in this platform, I think, after a very, very long time, and I'm really excited to talk to each one of you. And of course, after this session, most welcome to talk to me. I know all of you are most of you are Gen Zs here, so I will be very careful in using my words. Okay. So, okay. Anyway, so my name is Vish Mehta, and that's again, the acceptance that I've taken from my name. So my name is Vishwaroop. Then it was over the years working with a lot of young crowd. My name was reduced to VISH, and I was telling somebody, during the breakfast that it may not be possible. Maybe after a few years, my name will only be V4 or V5 or something like that. So I'm not too surprised about it. So I belong to a company called Coupa Software, and I head the HR function. And I've been with this company for almost 7.5 years, and I lead the all the different functions within the HR, be it talent strategy, talent management, talent acquisition, L&D, so on and so forth. Coming down to the question, and I know it's a very tricky question, honestly. We can talk casually, but when it comes to really platform like this, you have to think, through. So the first thing that we implemented, keeping in mind the kind of crowd we have. By the way, we have 40% of the crowd across the world. 40% of the crowd were from Gen Zs. So so you can imagine the next generation is going to be completely Gen Zs and probably alphas. So Gen X and Gen boomers are all gone, so probably we'll have to live with those adaptability. So the first thing we thought through was the way we would want to empower our new folks who come in the organization, because they have an entrepreneurial mind and they would want to think out of the box and take the ownership of their failure and their success. So what we did was, we and I haven't heard a lot of companies, probably you can educate me on that, but what we did was that we have an inverted org structure in the organization, where we don't have a pyramidal, where the CEO is at the top, then the EVPs, then the SVPs, and then you have the VPs, and at the bottommost, which is the majority of the intellectual property, are at the bottom to take the instructions. What we did, we turned around the entire org. Now what we have is the most junior person in the organization is at the top to make decisions, and the entire ideation flows down from there to their managers and then to the CEO. So that's where the ideas grow, because now you have a idea of almost 700 people versus one person who's at the top. So that implementation really helped us, because now what we feel is that we are not here to support, we are not here to manage the team, but we are here to support them to become more successful in the job. So that was one quite interesting, initiatives we took. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. I just, before my introduction, which has been very elaboratively shared by the team, I am Pallavi here, and I spearhead human resources, industrial relations, and admin for one of the electronic organization. And I've had a history of working for 23 years now in international organizations at domestic and global level. So enough of that for me. But what I'm very interested in, happy to see, is that the entire room is, I mean, the auditorium is all crowded, and everybody is very excitedly looking at us, which means that there's certainly something called as an expectation management, which I have been taking from the Gen Z, because I'm parenting one as well. So the thing that I have learned, or I am now used to, is the bro code, the kind of language that okay, now and then my both children are making sure that they are teaching us a lot. And maybe as we proceed with the discussions forward, I'll give some examples within the organizations and how we are also as elders, we are grooming ourselves to be fitting into the generation from the expectation management. So one of the things is certainly the language and the colloquials that we are very much a part of. We better learn it to live it. Thank you.
In your language like slay and all, right? GM, what's up? I hope you guys are all geared to vibe with us. So that is how, like, we are still learning, how Pallavi mentioned. But on serious note, I have been in IT industry throughout, okay, and I have seen a lot of digital transformation, lot of technology stack which has kept changing. But the Gen Z, what we are seeing, okay, and I have to be careful with my words because we have majority of few years, so I'll try to portray it in a very beautiful way. So anyway, with Gen Z, it is like the landscape is changing, and it comes with a lot of learning for me as a person, and even for the organizations. Like we are learning with y'all. The thing what I value most about Gen Zs is that they value purpose. Like there is a purpose which is there, and they would only work for something what they find fun, happiness, and the vibe in. Okay, that is what it is, and it's not like our generation where there were strict fields which we had to follow. There was a 9 to 5 which we had to follow. So there's a lot of dynamism, disruption, but good disruption which is happening with Gen Zs. And as an organization, we have become more authentic. We are more transparent.
Okay, and like things which were elaborative, now they are more fast paced for us. That is what we are learning from Gen Zs. And like how Pallavi mentioned, I also have Gen Z kids, so they are my guinea pigs. So whatever I have to come up with policy or processes, I just run it by them, see their reaction, and then I know, yeah, I can implement it or not, or the way I need to implement it.
Thank you. Vishal?
So, how's the vibe? Good, positive. Okay. I'll step back. Paridhi has already done a lit job on my introduction. Thanks for having me once again, NHRT and I, Dean Ma'am, faculties and students. I'm mutually excited and I'm mutually looking for the learnings from all of you this next 1.5 hours. With that as a backdrop, my full name is Vishal Harish Bhagat. I work with Abdul Latif Jamil. It's a Dubai KSA based conglomerate network of companies that's not known in India into multiple businesses. Work throughout in IT or manufacturing and consulting too. That's my background. Almost all the functions of HR I touched and worked. Currently working, you can read out, but yeah, that's my portfolio. I do HR mergers and acquisitions, which is relatively niche role within HR itself. The HR transformation on the process side, also the talent management and bit of HR research. I'm passionate about the research part. That's my backdrop. I worked in multiple sectors. Engineer turned master's human resource manager. People usually ask that question. With that as a introduction, the question which Shweta is looking for, the learning probably is the everyday thing for me. It doesn't stop. But if I really want to categorize and keep it contextual for today's discussion with respect to the topic in mind, the micro things. See, I'm a transition generation guy, and most of us are. When I say transition, I have seen the baby boomers, I have seen the millennial, and the Gen Y, so-called Gen Y, if I define it correctly. And I'm working with Gen Zs, 30%, 40% population, globally, India, penetrated into the workforce or outside the society. With that, I really need to learn the way they are and getting into their shoes. The one constant thing which probably has turned into multiple software products today is the so I as a generation or your father, forefathers, they were the generation of having the macro level of feedback loop. Macro matlab साल में एक बार give me the feedback. I will learn, follow throughout the year, whether learning, no learning, gaps filled up. I'm ready for the role. Whereas my generation, at least we move to, so at least by yearly, give me the feedback, I learn and move forward. When it comes to the Gen Zs, and that's very peculiar, I'll give you the examples about the software products I'm referring to. They need the micro feedback. I believe that's true. You need quick feedback, quick answers, and probably quick resolutions also with a clear path. Any ambiguity, I'm not clear, I'm not doing that. And that's a quick learning for me. I actually use it when I coach and I actually use it when I work in the corporate sector. And that's my take for on the learning part.
I
Thanks for the
totally,
question.
totally second you. The no filter feedback, right? That's
So, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here, the dean, the faculty, and rest of the students. Uh, well, I'm too young amongst all these esteemed panelists, so pardon me for if I don't contribute to the context that we are talking today. Well, I am more focused product manager, project manager, right? My area of expertise is into building products, creating innovative products and all. So from HR perspectives, I'll try to contribute as much as I can, but surely I'll try to contribute from my experience working with the Gen Zs, right? As I'm closely working with Gen Zs within my team and in my cross-functional teams, so I have those experiences which I can definitely share. Hopefully, you guys would get to learn something from my experiences. Looking forward to learn from all of you. Thank you so
thank you.
much.
Thank you. So moving on to the topic for today, how the entire workplace is getting redefined. So whenever we think about the workplace, the first thing that comes to our mind is culture. And culture is something which I believe is, never taught. It's always caught, right? So with that, I would like to understand and hear from each one of you in your industry because we've got diverse, industries, and it's always great to learn about the cultures, right? So, how is Gen Z reshaping the culture in your team and organization? So, to start with you, Vish.
So, when you talk about culture and how it's reshaping in my company, I think in a big way. As I said, that majority of the hires that we are doing is either in the transition to Gen X, Gen Z, or probably they're already Gen Zs. Typically born in the year from 97 to 2012 or 13 or something. So which means that there is a big time transformation that's happening within our ecosystem in the company. The way we used to communicate, the way we used to provide feedback, the way we used to frame our goals and stuff and the values, they have absolutely changed. So first thing is what we did was we redefined, refreshed our own core values. So that was important. That needed to resonate, reflect upon every individual who would join. So the question, the some of the aspects of the value was striving for excellence. It's okay never too late to try out, and then if you fail, that's okay to fail, but learn something from it, and then strive for perfection, which is never there, right? So that was one of the components of refreshing our values. Second is the way of communication. Typically, we belong to the previous era where the communication was formally, you have to meet across the table and talk through how is it going. Now they don't expect that. They feel that, okay, as you said, right, I'm available virtual, I'm sorry I wasn't able to make it, so let's talk over probably video conferencing or Slack or whatever. So they are more reliant on the culture of connecting fast, spontaneous feedbacks, talking through what makes sense, not that you give a big jargon as, oh, you know what, this is a philosophy, you need to behave the way, you need to connect, you need to have a protocol. It's nothing like that. They just want to quickly connect, talk, set their expectations. They need to be very clear about how they need to operate. As he mentioned, Vishal said. So you need to quickly connect and talk through. And I'm sorry, I reached at 9, but I need to leave by 3 because I need to walk my dog, and maybe that's the empathy that they're looking at. And as an organization, we what we do is we connect with most of the individuals formally and as well as informally. Sometimes we ask them to come over so that we can have a nice talk the walk rather than sitting in the closed room, and then take the feedback of what's going on with you, what values you, right? So those kind of questions just come in, and we need to address those, ensuring that they are in line with the overall value system of the company and how it resonates well with their own personal values. So these are the few things that has we had to think through in terms of transformation. The culture has changed a lot, but I'm not saying that it's not good to meet and come in person and meet over a tea or coffee in the office, because that's equally important. So we have, of course, transformed way of working to what do you call that, remote or hybrid working. But we make at least 1 week of the 1 day of the week where everybody or different groups might come in and meet and collaborate, rather than say let's talk work, but mostly to talk about collaboration. So I think these are some transformation journey that we have gone through, but it's working very fine. They are very adaptive to culture, but at the same time they are quite sensitive. So we need to be careful about not touching the wrong, strings. So yeah, but I think a sensitivity, they are quite hyperactive in terms of getting work done quicker. But at the same time, I think they need a little bit of mentoring, because you will end up giving them a low job, saying that, oh, you know what, he's a Gen Z, he's not going to stick to time, and punctuality could be a problem. Because I remember one of the hirings we did, and the guy was very clear about saying that, hey, you know what, I will join, but I will work according to my own conditions. I will do the coding and do all the stuff in the night, and you don't expect me to be in the office in the daytime. So don't expect any response during the day. So those kind of, I mean, I'll give you a good example. This morning, I told my son, you need to go to school because there's a school and there's some engagement going on. The first thing, and he's just 8.5 years. Imagine that he's already an alpha. He tells me that, that, okay, I'll go to school. Today's a holiday, but I'll make sure that Monday and Tuesday I won't go. So that's the condition that they keep, right? And I can feel that. and you need to go with the flow end of the day.
Thank you, Vish. And very well said. And that's exactly, I can totally resonate with what happens these days. So I remember, 10, probably 10 years or 8 years back when we used to hire, the students used to think about the return on investment. Now the Gen Zs look for the return on life. Okay, so I would like to understand from you, Pallavi, how the culture has evolved in your organization with the Gen Zs coming into force.
Yeah, Shweta, when he was talking, it was yes, yes, this is also happening. Yes, yes, this is also happening. So there are so many similarities because for us, for me, I personally believe that culture is such a vast umbrella that the mindsets, we start from mindset change. Yeah. So I have been into manufacturing where the things are pretty different, a little bit different, I would say, as compared to how the other non-manufacturing organizations work. Because here within the organization we have a legacy culture, wherein ऐसा तो चलता है, ये तो ऐसे ही होता है. Yeah, we have a unionized workforce who have been working with the organization in their kind of mindsets. Yeah, and they are very reluctant of any kind of a change. So, with the advancement of technology and as we expand ourselves from a business perspective, from acquiring new technology, new products, new markets, so I would talk about a couple of pointers in the culture. Starting from the businesses, that adaptivity is certainly very important. Is what is in it for me? Company will grow, the EBITDA, the company will grow overall, but what do I get? Because when it comes to our salary increment, we are not going to be given that increment or maybe at that pace in which organization any which ways is going to take the entire profit. So the resistance of change is a big, I would say, a challenge or an opportunity for the HR and the strategic, the management leadership team to take it forward. So how it has changed over the time is that again collaborative culture is very important. So often we have made sure that whenever any kind of a new technology comes, we have our cross-functional team and wherein all the starting from the union people, representatives of the union, to their different kind of, we select representatives from each of the functions. We cannot take everyone for practical reasons, and make sure that we communicate that, hey, this is what is happening. If we do this, this is how the growth is going to happen, and the growth is not going to be the organization's growth or the MD and CEO, but it is going to be a growth of the company. And if we do not do this, our competition is going to do it much more aggressively. So how do we make sure that we reduce the product cost? How do we make sure that we do not give OT? All those things, put together. And the moment we win over the confidence level that yes, we are in the right direction and let's do it together, things are definitely in a positive direction. If we have made those changes, that's again a mindset change which has impacted the cultural change. My second input is going to be, there's too much now into diversity, inclusion, D&I, too much. Is it true that we were not focusing on these interventions earlier? We were, but if we were doing it very silently, right? With making it a little bit, I would say, a little bit noise of it, making sure that hey, we need a female representation, gender diversity in the boardroom. It's actually a ladder for the women to raise up, because it's kind of that which organization, and now we have so many women doing independent directors courses, because there's a need of women representation in the board of directors, independent directors majorly. So is it that the women were not capable earlier? They were, but what was stopping them was the mind change, right? And also the leadership's mind change in terms of acceptability and adaptability to make sure that yes, there is a different diverse of opinion which a woman may bring on the table without, irrespective of the gender, intelligence cannot be biased on gender. So again, a change in the culture of mindsets. My third and something what we are talking about is COVID taught a lot. to us. COVID actually has been a training program for the industries across globally and in India. So the fact that a manufacturing organization can also have a hybrid kind of a culture, all thanks goes to COVID. Because we cannot, if we have never had a thought that Sunday एक दिन छुट्टी भी कैसे possible है? Because the machines are working. There is no stop with the machine. There are three shifts working. So did it change the culture? Yes, because how I had been fortunate, I would say, to roll out 100 women engineers in the night shift. So which was in Talegaon, place like Talegaon. So which is somebody, I mean, earlier we wouldn't have thought it to be possible that a woman engineer comes, enters the office at 12 a.m., midnight 12 a.m., and leaves at 7 in the morning, the third shift. But did it happen? It is happening successfully. So the culture of change is from the mindsets wherein we are showcasing that we all are equal. The growth is not limited to the organization's growth. We are offering opportunities. It is you who has to pick up. And then there is no bias in the gender. If the women are good enough, they must pick up. So with that, maybe I would leave.
Yeah. Thank you, Pallavi. So very well said and then point noted about this. So now moving from manufacturing to IT, core IT. So Tina, how the culture has evolved in your organization? If you can throw some light on that.
Before we do that, okay, see the attention span of the Gen Zs is 12 seconds. So I want all of you to get back here. Okay, so let's just put your hands up and shake it. Awake? Good morning. So I hope we got you guys back. Okay, welcome. Okay, so I'm going to keep it very short because Vish and Pallavi have covered most of it. Okay, like we are a 30-year-old IT organization, and around 35% of my organization, the age group is between 22 to 25. So, like if we talk about our values, it's always been fairness, transparency, authenticity, and thankfully that is aligned with what Gen Zs also are looking at. So we've not really had to change the culture much, but we've changed the way we work. Like if we talk about the employee experience or the engagement, like see now what I was doing, that is engagement, right? So in terms of having big feedback forms, now we have pulse surveys. If we talk about communication, there are no lengthy discussions, reels, right? So it is like bite-sized communication, or even when we talk about policies, no Gen Z is going to read your 3-page or 4-page policy. We've shifted to 1-page policies because policy is an important tool for any organization to form, the framework and from the compliance standpoint. So we've made all these changes, and communication is very open. We have an open door, and they are very vocal. So that also gels with them. And thankfully, what is happening is that most of, like say my peers, their children are also Gen Zs. So then they are also able to relate to what is happening at the office culture, and we embrace, and there is a dual way learning. We learn from them and they learn from us.
Okay. All right. And then this reminds me again, a very important thing that flexibility, and then that's how we have become flexible, right? So, yeah, moving on to you, Vishal. Uh, Again, if you can help us understand changes that you have made in the policies or in your approach with the Gen Zs coming into your organization. So,
So I will not keep it to my own organization and keep it to in general. Let me put a contextual response to this question. And all my fellow panelists, they covered almost everything in detail. To put it in perspective, and you'll see that in real, I was quoting something as a software, right? I was quoting about the micro-based feedback. Micro-based learning is also second thing. That's the second topic. Now, three examples I'll quote. One purely from the business side, and business actually drives that way. The business are driven that way. And two, a couple of examples, HR examples, but actually impacting the business. So you must have heard OTT, right? Why it exists? The reason it exists, because almost everybody, including Gen Zs and millennials and the user, any user, they like outcome-based payment, right? Have you heard of it? Outcome-based pricing modeling. 30% population in this room, and I believe they are specializing in SAP, right? And rest of the fields. So you will learn this whenever you are actually going to consult an external client about a pitch about the business case, how the pricing model work. Now, one of the pricing model is outcome-based pricing. Now, why it has turned? It's not only the workforce; it's also the user, which is almost 30 to 40%. Globally, India, they are Gen Zs. And no data, if I really go with the data, empirical data suggests almost millennials and Gen Zs contribute to 80 to 90% of the workforce itself, like including me and you guys together, and also the user. So to attract that user, my product slash pricing slash services slash anything as a business should be around that. And that's where these models are flourishing across the sectors and industry. Relatable? And that's what the culture, that's how the culture is driven, the business culture. Coming back to the HR culture or HR products or services which we have, one example, many companies have, I mean, there are research papers by Deloitte to Adobe to Google that you don't want to have the bell curve. You must have heard, HR folks, you can relate it. You can talk to your non-HR folks and explain the bell curve. It was a trend and it is a trend by GE and so-called all the best companies, best practice creators, right from IBM to GE. But now the trend has come that I will go with the bell curve. Now to remove the bell curve, I have to have the objective decision making. To have the objective decision making, I have to have a product which talks about the real-time feedback given by manager to the associate. And to make it more objective, more scientific, I have to have the tool. So my performance management, my learning system is driven by this micro learning slash micro feedback acumen slash attitude and behavior of the Gen Zs. It is really driving my culture. And third example, probably it's relatable to anybody and everybody. Almost everyone likes to have a quick response in a clear manner, right? I mean, ma'am said 12 seconds as the goldfish has a very least 8 seconds of attention span. And there are myth slash empirical data that 12 second to 8 second is a human attention span. Now, keeping that in mind, I have to have very clear instructions for anything and everything I do. And that drives my culture once again, outside the office too. And that's how it is working. My current organization and wherever I worked before, manufacturing, I will not differentiate, by the way, I come from both the backgrounds. So almost anywhere you'll find the only geographical place or geographical location creates some impact. The Gen Z in USA or Europe or ASEAN is very different than Gen Z in India. Their expectation slash commercial literacy slash financial literacy slash career literacy is very different than what they are in other countries. That's where I stop. And these are the real time event. You can actually go and check the data. These are real time things happening in the industry, in the workplaces, and in the social life too. Thank you.
Thank you, Vishal. Utkarsh, now I'll twist this, okay? Since you said that you work closely, and I think you are just at the border of being Gen Z. So how have you inspired your management to have change in the policy or approach, and that has brought a difference in the culture? So if you can throw some light on that.
Well, to be honest, I'm not a policymaker since I'm not a HR.
Yeah.
But having worked at leadership roles, right, I have had opportunity to uh, give inputs as to how we can enhance policies, right? How we can adapt the changes, especially the new technologies that are coming in. To mention AI, right? Recently, AI has just boomed across the world, and every organization is trying to adopt AI to enhance their productivity, to enhance their workforce quality, and save the time cut the cost, right, and so forth. So yeah, working with Gen Z within my team and at our organizations, it has been very interesting journey, right? Gen Zs are so fast, right? They are mobile, so tech savvy and mobile friendly, right? Everything is at their fingertips. You give them a task, they give you the result. This is how the productivity has improved, right? I think with previous generations, right, I personally experienced that with my seniors. They It used to happen like uh, they used to, we used to have brainstorming sessions and all, and uh, with the tech knowledge that I had, right, and the tech expertise that I had, I could quickly give the resolution to their problems. So I am able to see the same thing and even better, improved, productivity and quick resolution, from the Gen Zs, because they are so actively using AI tools, and with AI, the life has become so much easier and productive.
Oh, all right. Thank you. So Vishal spoke about OTT, okay, and that always reminds me. And the one thing I'm sure everybody's thinking about is Netflix, right? So I believe careers right now with Gen Z coming in force, the careers are like Netflix right now. You know, gone are those days, when you have those long cable kind of career plans and all. Right now they want binge worthy. They want the relatable new seasons every time customized, right? So with that, I would like to understand that when it comes to growth and the ambitions, right? So how Gen Z has supported the career growth, or how you have supported the Gen Zs in your organization when it comes to learning, or I can tell you something about Atlantis as well. So it's a cloud based company. So we focus a lot of hiring. Our hiring is basically skill based hiring. So that's how our career programs, our development programs are also in bite-sized learning itself. So I would like to understand, Vish, in your organization, how have you planned the learning and growth for Gen Zs?
So at Coupa, the first thing is that we hire for skills, right? We always talk that. So, but it's one is the skills and the competencies they bring on the table. They're very straightforward in terms of what they can do, what they cannot. So it's so easy for you to map them with the right kind of skills in the career planning. Now, what we have done here was we took couple of initiatives around the career pathing, and by the way, they have shaped us, not we them, because they come in and then they make a difference, and you have to adjust your way of working with them rather than you rather than you are trying to get the assessment and then make changes, because they automatically come and influence the way of working, and you have to manage that. So in any organization you will have some Gen X and of course Ys and then Z's, majority of them. So one is a collaboration of how we can marry them all and build a nice out of the box value system that they can look out. From the career perspective, they what we have done is we built a talent strategy framework. Where we did was that what was more important, that we wanted to introspect what was more important for the crowd, majority of the team, to look at. So first was that we felt that they needed very clear cut goals in terms of where the company is heading to. And uh, and just to take a little flashback, 2 years back we were acquired by a very large private equity, and we moved away from public Nasdaq listed to a private equity firm, and that brought about a lot of changes in terms of how we need to look at you know revenue piece, and then relook at your scales, and then new technologies coming in, because the private equities are mostly concerned about how is the evaluation of the company is going to look like after 5 years, how you need to turn it on the table, right? Which means that you need to then build out of the box products. That means you need to hire the right people for the right job and things like that. So what we did was, the first thing we did was, when our new CEO joined in, what she did was she first made sure that there was a very clear communication across the board, because there was some kind of a disengagement happening at the at the level, at the IC level, because they didn't understand after the acquisition what is going to happen. Is there going to be a instability in terms of how the company is going to scale, how the company is going to grow, what new product are going to be obsolete versus new product going to come, is their role going to get redundant and stuff like that. So a lot of things were going in. The first thing we did was one, started cascading the communication right from top level through the town halls, regional meetings, and focused group meetings, and communicating those down to those, to all the individuals, saying that you're secure and you're one of the best talents, and we are going to bring about transformational change. So be ready for that. Second was we we developed a very clear strategy of 2 and 5 years of where we want to scale our operations in terms of revenue and others. So we targeted ourselves to say 2 billion company in the next 24 months. And that gave a lot of confidence to all the individuals that given the company has a goal, that means we have the EBITDA to perform. That means, there are a lot of visibility in terms of where they want to grow and how the company is going to grow. So that gave them some kind of a stability in terms of working. You know how they are. If they have a fickle mind, they will leave, and attrition can be one of the biggest problems. Exactly. So we built the entire framework, which we called as so developing the company's revamping the company's overall organization goal, or what we want to achieve, where we want to go, very clear, coming in from the CEO. And then how to develop was started working on the 9 box, but we made it a little customized when we said 9 box versus different star performers placed in different boxes. Uh, you know, it's a little different concept that we used originally, but what we did was we translated that to star performers, consistent performers, emerging stars, stuff like that. So that we started placing them. And after that, we did some kind of a calibration of the talent to understand who are critical resources, who are flight risks, who are ready for the next level, who are ready for the next level after, say, 24 months or 12 months. So we were able to map those. And then, of course, identification of critical skill means that you need to develop the succession planning, which means that you should not be impacted if there is a replacement, right? So the entire ecosystem was developed. And once you have identified the real key performers in different boxes, develop some capsule courses and some long-term courses for the leadership as well, uh, which was coach driven. For example, the Better Ups, the Accelerate, Ignite, a lot of different trainings which we did. Again, we kept in mind that most of these are not going to be they're not going to be working, coming to office and going through the coaching. So we made it more of a virtual, and meetup could be anywhere in the country, outside the country. Meetup session for a week, they go there and then get a personal coaching. That gave them a value add to their where they want to grow and what they want to do. I think that has really helped a lot in terms of transformation and how we have developed their career pathing in terms of that. Yeah. And we also did, finally, we also did something, relooking at our job architecture. We did a complete change in that, aligning to the values that bring on the table, that employees bring on the table. Not a very standard leveling part, oh, next level is this, but in terms of progression, a framework in terms of where do you want to go, how do you want to award them, and it doesn't matter whether they are juniors or very senior. If they are star performers, you have a fast track, right, within the org. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, like in my organization as well, what we focus on all the meta skills as well. So it's more of a shaped learning. That's what we encourage. And with that, Tina, I would like to understand that if advice if you would like to give to Gen Zs, on what kind of skills they should focus. So what would those skills
See, for the Gen Zs, there would be, they have a lot of good traits, which I keep talking about, that they value purpose, right? And they exactly know what they want, So that is something what we are learning from them. But something what my advice would be is that they should learn to listen. Like it is very important. That is a very important trait that the Gen Zs need to have. And second is that we understand that it is like everything is at a click and it is fast paced, and but that's not how most of the organization works. So there has to be some kind of stability. You need to get some kind of steadiness in your lives, and please understand that no organization would give you that things are moving every time and at a fast pace. So just go with the flow. Okay, stay still, listen, and always be open to learning.
Thank you, Tina. So, Pallavi, any challenges that you have faced, in aligning this expectations when it comes to learning goals in your organization?
Certainly, yes. We are in the process of separating a complete R&D center wherein we have all young engineers, just completely, somebody average age is hovering below 24, 23. They're very, very young, and their aspirations are very high. They really want to become the CEOs in next 3 years to 5 years, but the input that they would want to put for becoming or maybe gaining a functional head position is very less. So A is learning. They need to learn first, and also accept that failures are a part of the journey of your growth. So acceptance, there should cannot be a fear of failure. It's okay. You can feel, but the failures is something that you just do not want to confront. They're very thorough that I have a purpose, what we have been talking about. Um, but my purpose is very sorted. I'm going to do this. I'm very done with it, and I'm going to reach to this level. But for this, I cannot, or they do not want to accept that there are going to be ups and downs. Everything cannot be hunky dory. So it has to be. There are certain things when uh, you know the experienced people have had experiences, and that's why they are trying to explain that if you do this, is going to happen. So please be prepared for a contingency or a plan B, and that's where the reluctance from the Gen Z comes up, and they're not ready to understand that no, this is my way or no way.
My way.
Second thing is I very strongly would want to share it here, or what we have faced is the generation cannot outsource their decision making to ChatGPT. They have to have their own decision making power, because ChatGPT or any other AI tool is a tool. It's a tool, and it cannot be a practical way. It will only help us to understand the trends, what has happened in the past based on the data which is available to the AIs. It can certainly help us to do certain predictive index. Certainly, very helpful, but it is a tool. The decision making has to be a very, very on the spot, a relativity based on the experience. So my advice to the team or all the team members in the organization and here as well is do not outsource your decision making power to ChatGPT or any other AI.
True, true, yeah. Thank you, Pallavi. Vishal, coming to you, globally, if you can throw some light on how there's a difference in the learning goals, or let's say what kind of experience you have had working with the teams across the globe.
So essentially, every learning is almost driven by the workforce, and my workforce is itself is 30 to 40% of Gen Zs slash millennials. I have to create something for them. Like my product should talk about relevance, right? Everybody likes the relevance. So I quote another example in the similar line. All of you, I believe, again, HR folks, please explain it to non-HR folks in the team, but something called as internal marketplace. Have you heard of the terminology? Marketing guys? Okay. Now, internal marketplace as a concept is applicable in HR or skilling area. My skill taxonomy should speak the language of the business. There is something called as forget Gen Zs or millennials for a while. There is a harsh reality called as business. Now, if my business is not growing, come what may, my skilling, reskilling, upskilling, or any LMS or LXP won't work. LMS, Learning Management System, LXP, Learning Experience Platform, won't work in the favor of business if it is not working. The moment there is a business flourishment, then things fall in place. Now, if I really want to drive that business, what is my internal strategy? Coming to the skill is the new revenue, new currency, that's what they call it. Now, with my internal marketplace, which is relevant to the business, talking that objective 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, and giving back to those essentials to my workforce, it works. The moment it doesn't work, it is not mapped business objective vis-a-vis my whatever learning platforms I have, it doesn't work at all. So that's the one trend I have seen. Come to the Microsoft of the world. IBM has created very long back. I'm talking about 2010. They had created blue opportunities. You go and Google it. Many companies right now in India MNCs, IT space, non-IT space, they have created internal marketplace called as in your language gig opportunities or gig assignment. Now, if I have those internal gig assignments or blue opportunities or opportunities at my leisure, with respect to my current skill or future skill, let me go and contribute. If it works in the favor of the taker and the giver, it works. And obviously, it is driven by some objective, some problem statement I'm trying to solve for the business. That's a global trend currently. I am currently working on the internal, I write policies every day and day out for almost 35 different countries and 180 different nationals. So maybe one national, there are 10 nationals in the same country. So I may need to consider those cultural aspects, those sensitive aspects, those learning appetites, learning pedagogies or styles, and then create something. Not only on the learning, but any policy for that matter. So if I'm actually providing something on talent management and solution, should work equally and fairly, maybe in KSA, which is Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, vis-a-vis in China, vis-a-vis in Australia, or somebody sitting in Malaysia. So keeping those diverse aspects in mind, my clear-cut career mapping / skill taxonomy vis-a-vis my internal marketplace should talk to each other. Now that's the level of complexity HR people deal with. I'm talking about purely from the selfish HR function. However, it is purely driven by what business wants from the other functions. And that's a current trend, probably a growing trend across the companies. You must have seen the Doodle, Google Doodle. Have you heard of the story about it? Who does it? Do you know that? Anybody? Anybody in the Google does it. And one of the best one gets selected for that particular publication. And there are many such examples I can talk about. IBM, I have seen many things like that. Current company where I work, Abdul Latif Jamil, it's a pure play Toyota management style. And if you know about Toyota, you must have heard about the first lecture in the management. Their Toyota manufacturing system or TPS, whatever you call it, production system, it works on the principle. There are many principles. One of them is Kaizen. Kai stands for continuous, then stands for improvement. Now, exactly applicable in any days. Today's digital transformations, the genesis is Kaizen. Because I do the process mapping, I identify the gaps, I see wherever the possibilities of converting those gaps into automation, and my first step happens on the digital transformation or normal transformation. So my current company, we're actually working on creating continuous, like I'm working on a project personally, how I can create that Kaizen in anything I do in my life, generally in life as well as the workplace. So that's the current trend. Probably we are going back to suddenly, again, it's a skilling and learning for all of you. Suddenly, Black Belt Six Sigma people turn very lucrative. Have you noticed that? HR folks, you must have seen that. The only reason they have flourished because the first step in digital transformation is starts there. Process mapping, converting that into that thing is happening right now in the world, and they're actually leveraging that. So that's the current trend on upskilling, skilling, and reskilling part in my organization and across wherever I've seen and studied.
Got it. Thank you, Vishal. So I'll pause for a while over here, and the moment we saw, noise coming from here, that was actually, we felt like, okay, wow, people are awake, right? So with that, what I want is anybody of you, if you would like to ask one or two questions on the career advice or whatever, till we spoke right now, on the topic. So I would love to hear from you.
Oh, one
Yeah.
request. That is called as AMA. Have you heard of AMA? Ask me
Ask me
anything.
anything.
That's what.
Yes. Yes.
And that's the trend by the way in many workplaces.
And the reason why I'm doing is because the next we're going to talk about communication. That's the new language of work. So before that, I would really like to hear from you. So if you have got any query, feel free to ask us. Anybody? Or any of the key takeaways on career that you would like to talk. Oh yeah.
Jain ma'am, Jain sir. So my question is, what are the parameters should Gen Z consider while redefining culture?
Would you like to take this?
I'll take this. My understanding of your question is that what changes uh, Gen Z should do in themselves to be adaptive to the culture. Is that the right understanding I have? Okay. A is, since the team has spoken a lot, I will just reiterate some of the things. Having a purpose is very important. What the Gen Z is very, they're very happy that I have purpose. I'm very clear this is what I have to go. But how to reach there? They must be open to suggestions and open to, listening to what experience shares by maybe their mentors, if they have mentors, or by their um, elderly people around them. But somebody who's experienced definitely has something more to share as compared to having a purpose and being very practical on the grounds. So, uh, Gen Z must be very open to feedbacks, open to listen to. They can also be, suggestions given to them, and second thing is I would like to say, as I just kind of mentioned, is they need to start thinking and not rely too much on maybe their peers or what AI or chat GPT is saying, because there's going to be a time, I'm sure, when they rise up as somebody who is going to be leading a team and would have people below them, below him or her. The decision making would become a challenge, because you cannot always guide your team member that this is what is correct based on the decisions that AI is communicating or they are feeding in. The same answer, I mean, the same prompt could be given by your team members to know what do I do, where do I reach, and the AI is also going to say the same thing, but not necessarily that answer is right, because which organization, what is your business, what's your competition doing, what is the stake, are you bringing in some new products, is the same technology there? AI doesn't know all that, right? So very important is that do not outsource. I reiterate, decision making to artificial intelligence. Else, as a manager, you will not have, the person will not have a power to do the right thing, because they will not have developed the sense of decision making, right? Third thing is, that's my personal take, though somebody may not agree, is they need to plan, they need to learn to plan. Very important is, everything is again, there is a big element of contingency, big element of something called as contingent. Nobody, yeah, I'll put it the other way. We never thought that a four-wheeler will not be run by petrol or gasoline, yeah, any fuel. We never thought that there would be a time where the IC engine is going to get out and we'll be talking about EV. Yeah, we never thought about there would be no any engineers in the group, so you would know what is an internal combustion engine means, IC engine. So we never thought, you know, okay. So we never thought, that there would be a situation where the two-wheelers, forget four-wheelers, would also have electric e-mobility support, right? Um, there are hundreds of challenges for us to have more of the percentage of e-mobile infrastructure is a challenge, or maybe we do not have enough of electric stations. But is the change coming up? Can you see more of the green, the tag vehicles in the parking lots, in your apartment lots, or in the cinema halls? Yes, which means that people are still buying. They are expensive though, but still they are buying, which means the mindset. So, with this example, I wanted to convey that things will change. Today, whatever is there, it may not be lasting. So, they need to also understand that, whatever the generation today feels that this is how it is going to be always, will not be there. So, they need to be adapted to change.
I will just add one thing to that. There is a very thin line between being transparent, open communication, and being rude. Okay, so Gen Zs for us, like say the experience what we've had, that they're very vocal, and we welcome that. But at the same time, something what we are really working on in our organization is they being respectful to the managers and other generations. Your managers also, like the kind of feeling usually is there is that, oh, he must have done that, but now it doesn't work like that. But that is not how it is. That your managers who are going to be your future managers, they come with experience, right? They've also faced failures, they've also learned, and that is where they are up there. So you have to be open to learning, you have to be open to feedback. You can have an open communication, you can have a disagreement, but at the same time, please do respect them. So, that line is something what you need to remember once you get into corporate.
I'm sure you have made a note of it. Anybody else would like to ask? Okay, all right. Yeah. Yeah.
Jain sir, Jain ma'am, I am Shivam Patro. I have a question on managing up. How do we best manage when we have ideas for innovation and efficiency, but lack of experience on the context of our manager? What should be the approach to present the new ideas effectively and efficiently?
Yes, yes, please go.
All right. Um, Based on the purely on the experience of me working with different product companies, so ideations would come only when there is a culture of transparency, openness, and resistance to change. So you have in the sense that we need to change, transform ourselves, our thought process, to take in and decide, share the ideas. So the best way probably is one, find the right mentor. If not, talk to your manager. If you get a job, talk to the manager, be transparent with him, tell him, share your aspirations in terms of where you want to grow, what you want to do. So answer the question why rather than what. So that is going to really help you. Getting a mentorship, getting the ideas done is very important, is the key. Because if you're not authentic in your communication or conversation, and without sugarcoating, you won't be able to get your ideas, thoughts across. And as a matter of fact, we had a incubation center in our company in California, and you know what? We have more than 90 patents developed by the employees. And that has all happened because of the small community they built. They ideated, they shared their ideas with each other, formed a small core team, and moved forward to the next level. So I think communication, conversation is important, right? You cannot expect the manager to come to you and say, hey, do you want anything else from me? Do you want to innovate something? It has to come given if the culture is so open that where the companies are expecting their employees to just open the door and talk, you should make the best use of it, I think. It should, yeah.
Most of the organizations now value that, okay, and we in IT also, and in my organization, you'll find a ideation hub, and we have some initiatives called murmuration, where you can come work on your idea, even if it's a small idea to a bigger idea. And then in case if you want to work in groups, we have hackathons where again you can work on your ideas. Would you like to add something?
Yes. Yes. So Shiv, fail fast. That's the. Did you hear me? Just fail fast. So design thinking as a principle or concept you heard of. You fail fast and go for the next, because the moment you fail fast, you have the option to improve immediately, and that's what Kaizen, which is the old concept, coming in real right now. Secondly, it's a mutual thing. It is not only you what you want, right? At the same time, I told you business reality. In between, you have a bridge called a manager. He or she may not be in a position to offer something at times. But coming back to the resources, option, avenues, platforms, I believe you guys. I'm sorry. I'm differentiating now. As a Gen Z, you have a lot of options available right now. Right from philanthropic to give back to the society to anything which is in non-corporate area as well, where you can actually try your ideas, innovation, thoughts, and reflect upon it to try and test it. It at max it will fail, but you will have some realization and learning for the next one. So I will recommend you go for that fail fast mode. Design thinking is first principles. The lab which ma'am was referring to, many organizations do that lab in a very observed setup and do those iterations multiple times. And that's where you can innovate. Now, again, it's a mutually given when it comes to the organization, how organization actually cherishes all those trial and error methods. If that organization doesn't allow, probably you need to find different avenue and platform to do so. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry, we could add from the entrepreneurship perspective. His question was more from, I think I personally feel he has an idea and he wants to, develop that product, right? Without working in a corporate or for a company. He wants to develop the product for himself, right? So I think the product development life cycle, right? We have to follow the product development life cycle in order to develop the product from idea, right? Uh, I don't know if you all are aware of product development life cycle. Right? So nowadays, since you are aware of product development life cycle, right? Nowadays, since we have lots of AI tools, Gen AI tools available, right? We can convert your ideas into prototypes, right? So the first step I feel to start with is convert your ideas into prototypes, right? You can create these prototypes in less than in a very short time, right? So with the prototype, it is easier for you to visualize how the product will look like, whether your customer will, find it interesting or not, right? And then you can also plan and work on your roadmap, product roadmap. I think other points, I think sir and ma'am have already mentioned, right? To get an investment for your idea, to get funding and growing your product and company, those things.
We had somebody over here, right? Yours as well? Yeah.
Jai Hind all. My name is Amrita, and my question is the concept of quiet quitting and setting boundaries are often discussed. How can we effectively communicate for a sustainable work-life balance without being pursued as unambitious or not being a team player? Fickle mindset.
I think we've given enough work-life balance. I wish we had so much work-life balance during our times. Really. So the work-life balance already exists. The organizations understand that, they value that, and if you see, most of the organization have flexi work hours, right? So there is flexible work hours where we do not expect you to do 9 to 5 or 8 hours from office. It is more in terms of quality now, the focus is, then quantity. But at the same time, it is very important to understand the responsibilities you guys have. So if there is a task or project that you are working on, like how Vishal mentioned that eventually it is business. Eventually for an organization it is revenue. Eventually it is a top line and bottom line which is going to give you the salaries. So it is very important for you to understand that timeline and what is the commitment you need to give to the project and you need to balance it out with your work-life balance. So you have to, like how Pallavi also said, plan better. If you plan better, you will be able to balance both things out.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, we can start with you and then
Jain, ma'am. My name is Aditya Naikimbarkar. My question is on feedback and validation. The stereotype is that Gen Z need frequent feedbacks. Setting that aside, what does a constructive and effective feedback look like in a modern workflow?
yeah.
So I think in our company, I'll just talk from the perspective from my company, what we do. Uh, we have a very authentic conversation. I think I have already mentioned that before, where the conversation is very clean and clear, and on the expectations. And we talk through giving a feedback which is not sugar coated. Sometimes, sometimes the feedback may be little may not be in favor of an employee, but that doesn't matter. Being authentic is very important because I might please you, and which I have seen a lot of company managers trying to please their team members during the focal year and the merit cycle when they say, oh, you know what, you did well, but you know what, you have a lot of strength, but it was not in my hands. The the increment was decided before, and it just we had to convey this. So I think taking the ownership for both the sides, where the manager and the employee, is important in an organization, where the manager needs to take the ownership of giving the feedback. And secondly, the feedback has to come on a continuous basis, not waiting till the end of the year when the promotion increment appraisal time comes in and say, oh, you know what, I couldn't give you more than 9% because of whatever reasons. I remember you doing certain things 6 months back and it didn't resonate with how we want to plan our projects. So I think one, there has to be a continuous feedback process that needs to be a regular cadence, defined goals, which helps at the end, both for the employees and the managers to understand what competencies they bring on the table as employees and whether they've exhibited those competencies or skills or not on the job. So the manager takes that ownership of explaining that, and the employee understands what competencies they need to improve upon and work, realign, and adjust. I think this kind of a regular conversation in terms of giving feedback, identifying areas of gaps, and then trying to readjust, realign them makes a lot of difference. Does it make sense?
So should we proactively ask for it or wait for it to come?
It's the ownership of your career is with you. So you need to be going back and don't feel shy to go back to ask manager saying, hey, can you tell me something, how did I perform in the last, say, 1 quarter or 6 months? Do you think I'm aligned to the overall goals and the vision of the company? Do you think that I'm aligned to the values? Do you think I'm doing the right thing? Do you think that I have the right skills to perform on the job? Or do you feel that there's something that is missing that I need to work upon? So these are very important questions, and the ownership of the career lies with the employee, not with the manager. Manager can help support, but the employee has to win the battle. They can only equip the employees, but you have to win the battle as an employee.
Yeah, just to add to this, it's feedback and feed forward. Forward. Okay. Yeah, we had some.
Respected panel members, my name is Devendra Vijay Joshi, and my question is regarding with the setbacks. Dealing with the setbacks, early careers are inevitably filled with mistakes and some learnings. Uh, from your perspective, what is the right way to tackle such situations and mistakes professionally, and how do we recover and rebuild the trust?
So that's a very good question, and I think a part of the answer is what is just being told. Feedbacks. First is have a very set understanding that what is expected, what are the key deliverables. Let's say there is an KPI performance indicator being offered to you, and based which this is a target timeline being given. What is expected from you has to be between a dialogue between you and your manager to set up that I'm going to do this from here to here. These are going to be my mechanisms or strategies, or I'm going to take this route. Is it the right route? So do not wait for the completion of the timeline. Keep on asking, this is what I'm doing, is it? So keep your, mentor or your manager updated. Understand, because he or she is going to be also accountable for your success in the career. So in case if you are being derailed, you are not in the right track, and if the communication or the updation of to the manager is consistent, timely, you will get the right guidance at the right time, and you will have time to do corrective actions. Make sure that corrective actions are data oriented. So any kind of a project that you take, it has to have a smart objective wherein you can measure, the completion rate. This is where we are. Yeah. In case if still there is a failure because the timelines may not match, there's nothing wrong in accepting that. Okay, I tried to do this. These were my setbacks. I could not do it, and have a very clear confrontation and look forward to make sure whatever were not okay or wrong strategies should not be repeated, because it's okay to be not okay sometimes, but make sure that you do not repeat the same things. You are going to have certainly a win-win situation going forward. So there's nothing wrong in case if some targets are not met, but definitely the effort and the persuasion that you have gone through matters. So manager is, they have four eyes. They are always watching you. So do not think that they would not know. You need to keep them updated, be on track, and see the results.
And with this, just adding a point. Yeah, Vishal, please go ahead. I was just adding to your own point. Go ahead. Yeah, no, no. So Vishal mentioned a point, a very valid point, like, fail fast. So fail fast, learn faster. Is that what it is? Please go ahead.
Few more, whatever ma'am has added already. Have multiple mentors. Don't keep two. I mean, I have multiple mentors. I have political mentor. I like politics. I have social mentor. I learn from most of you on this is whatever social media thing. I learn technology from my tech mentors. So don't have mentor, have mentors. And that's it will help you to navigate. So same the question. You must have heard, sorry to make it informal, must have heard of a concept called as speed dating in USA. Have you? On the same line, in corporate, there is a concept called as speed mentoring. So that happens in a very close 1 hour setup. Have it in the regular practice. Have your speed mentoring done. Vishal has given some thought. Ma'am has given some on the same topic, and pick up something which fits for you. I can't give you my way of learning and working, which worked for me 10 years back when I was an team management trainee or just a budding manager. May not work for you. 10 years gap is huge. Political, social, economical, environmental, everything has changed, right? The setup has changed. Hybrid workplaces coming. So things change. Don't think that something has worked for my fellow colleague may work for you. That is one. Secondly, a constant. So the earlier question was the feedback. It's a mutual thing. It's not a stereotype, by the way. It's a myth as well as reality. Some mentees, some Gen Zs will require a micro feedback. Some may not, right? So it's a myth for some, it's a reality for some. I may require a purpose-driven project for a person every week. Probably I may need an every week feedback and the update to my boss. And so probably there's a product life cycle what my fellow colleague said. It will be a 1 year old. It may take a 1 month review. It may not be very micro-based feedback. So have that, practice it, and definitely there is no perfect match for any product, services, solutions which we create. There will be gap and there will be scope of improvement in you and me.
Thank you so much, sir.
Then we'll come here.
Jain sir, ma'am. My name is Somesh Tiwari. Question is, the future work looking 5 to 10 years ahead, what is the one fundamental shift in workforce culture or communication driven by Gen Z, a value that you believe will become a new industry standard?
Keep your knowledge updated. The most important thing, irrespective of any generation, irrespective of what's going to happen 10 years. What if you're keeping yourself updated with the technology, with the changes, socio-economic changes, geographical changes, political changes, lot of things are happening, and if we are not updated, we are not a part of the race at all. So what is in my hand to make me a part of a race, and there is a probability for me to win, is if I'm updated what's happening, if I try to be better off of my own yesterday, how I was yesterday, if I put my efforts to be better off of my own yesterday, there's no competition to me, right? So the only one person who can make you successful is you, not your boss, not your organization, not your anybody, but only you. So make yourself updated with the knowledge, skills, and right attitude to learn.
Right? We can take a question from here.
Thank you.
Jai Hind, I am Anjali Rajpal, and my question is on the topic mentorship and growth. So, Gen Z is known for valuing continuous learning and rapid growth. What is the most effective way to seek out mentorship and advocate for ourselves when it comes to requesting new challenges or promotions, especially in our early years of our career?
I like to take this question. It's a very good question. Yeah. With the question, I would like to ask the team here, all the young people out here. Do you think your bosses are your would be bosses would be your mentors, right? Would be your mentors. Do you think anybody else who's not a direct functional head to you is also a mentor? He's being mentioned in the same thing, right? So you would be. What is the role of a mentor for you? For you, what's the role of a mentor? Let's say there's somebody called as a mentor and you are the protege, mentee. As a protege, you have certain expectations from somebody who is out functionally, right? Who is responsible for your performance appraisal, is responsible for increments, is responsible for your promotions, correct? Is your functional mentor. And you have an offlet or an additional, an extended mentor. They are your guides and coaches. Please do not expect answer of your problem from a mentor. They're not here to answer you do this. They are there to guide you and coach you and give you the perspectives how to handle. So if the prodigy starts thinking that this is my problem and I want your guidance to get promoted, the approach is incorrect. The approach is incorrect because the only way for your promotion is your deliverables at work at the functional level, and the mentorship, whether it is your boss's mentorship or extended mentorship, are going to give the perspective, the guidance, and coach you how to do it. They will not answer you what to do, that you have to do it yourself, right? That was the reason I'm very excited to take the answer, because we've had exactly certain simulations in the organizations very often. Did that answer you?
Yes, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, we have one more. One.
Jai ma'am, Jai sir. My name is Mansi Mishra and I have a question with entire panel on a topic impact and purpose. Many of us are driven by a company's mission and social impact for profit business. How can we find a meaningful way to contribute to larger societal goal and a day-to-day job description?
So all of us are aware of the ESG concept. Do we know what are SDGs? Yes. Yeah, we know what is an SDG. We know what is ESG. That we must know that organizations with profitability are working mandatorily on the CSRs. So if you want to really contribute to a social cause, there is ample of opportunities under CSR within the organization. And if as an individual level you want to contribute, nobody stops you to do it today as well, right? So there are mandates. You want to do it because the company is asking you to do it. You can do it routed through CSR under any of the ESGs or SDGs, right? And how do you do it along with the company objective? Because you are going to work on the role given offered to you. This is going to be an extended activity, um, apart or in addition to the role within your job description. So you cannot, one cannot say that my I contributed X number of hours doing CSR. So how do I do my project? That is not the right way any organization will accept. So CSR is a part of our contributions, our duty towards the community development and society, which has to be done in addition to the role being given, or the role being expected?
I just, what ma'am mentioned, that CSR is something what most organizations drive, and it is either on rural development or on the education front. And usually those drives happen on weekend, and in fact we encourage all our employees to take part in it. It is not only going to help you contribute to the society, but it would also give you immense satisfaction, right? Like, because you are doing something for the society and also help you to build resilience.
Totally related, Navin.
Just one addition. You mentioned about job description. So think beyond job description, why you want to stick around that? Why if CSR happens, then only I will get engaged. That's a voluntary. I volunteer wherever I want to, whichever cause impacts me in real way, whichever uh, cause in the society, maybe whether it's education, women, or any other topic. Let me go and do it. Probably this is a generation which I don't want to put any situation anywhere in the world, but you've seen things happening around for the cause. There may be a hoax around Gen Z is doing something else which is totally destructive, but you are doing something constructive many ways, and you know that. Follow that. That's it. JD will not stop you. JD is something. CSR happens, and I'm not misquoting any organization. They do it for multiple reasons: branding to 2% tax benefit to many more things. Apart from that, you know your purpose, right? Do you know? I believe yes. All of you follow that. I do talent community talent level in my whatever time 20 plus years I'm doing it right from a 12th standard till date. Wherever I stay or work or study. And that's the passion drives me. Ikigai, have you read the book called as Ikigai? Follow that. That will work in your favor.
Even recently, we had been to one of the government school and there we taught students. Okay, and the kind of happiness and the kind of satisfaction that we got. The students and then they are so clear about even like now cloud. Okay, we come from a cloud-based company, but the kind of answers like what do they want, what are their aspirations, dreams, they were so clear and then that's really amazing. So go and then opt for it. Whenever you get time, just take uh, time out and then just be with them. One of the CSR activities I would strongly recommend everyone. Yeah. NGOs. Or even last year I had, so I'm a part of one of the NGO group called Suction. So what we did is we just went during Christmas time and then we just distributed the sweets on the roads camp area. So again, that's what we do here.
Well, anybody interested even now, let me know. I can connect with almost any sector, any purpose, NGOs, whether atrocities to human to anything, any topic. I'm passed out of TISS. I work with all the social workers and likes of Meta Patkar too. And I've seen some real causes happening around. You let me know if offline, not in this context, but in Pune, in Mumbai at least, and somewhere else as well.
All right. So with this, can we have the last segment? A quick rapid fire. I would like to understand from you all. One myth about Gen Z that you would like to burst.
I think I'm going to ask them, what is one myth about you? I know what is one myth, but I want to hear from you. What is one myth about you? Anybody?
Let's debunk it together.
Yeah.
We'll try to debunk it.
Yeah.
Jai Hind, everyone. The one myth about us is that we are confused, and we are not.
Good one. Anybody else? So the one myth, according to me, is that confused, yeah. But the other is that they are entitled. Okay, that is the other myth what we carry, and we are working towards it. And they are, like I keep mentioning that they have a purpose. They are very clear in their vision. So they are not entitled. It's just that they need the right answers at the right time.
Okay, so I would like to hear from each one of you. We'll start from you, Utkarsh.
I think the one myth that I came across is Gen Zs are not loyal or trustworthy. I think you all must have seen. I found this answer on ChatGPT. So I am also too much reliant on AI tools. But I think I can resonate with it, and many of you can also agree, right? But that's not the myth, right? That's not the fact. So Gen Z is also as trustworthy and as loyal as any generation people are, right? It's just the way we interact with them, right? How we give them opportunities, how we support them, groom themselves, and how we nurture them. If we give them better opportunities and enough guidance on their side, they will definitely be trustworthy and loyal.
Vishal?
So I'll just build on that. What he said is actually true, and the one more addition to that, debunking that myth is, they don't hog the jobs. They actually hog the growth.
Oh, yes.
You agree? You disagree? I don't know how many of you work before, but whenever you work, you'll actually go for this. I would like to debunk what myth she has highlighted. You're not confused, in my personal view. You're curious, and curious for multiple things. It's my onus, who's listener to you, or observing you, or a manager, or somebody senior than you, to understand that curiosity. And whether to hire you or not, that's my choice. If your curiosity matches with my requirement and my business problem, probably you're the best hire for me. If not, then go for the next Gen Z around.
For me, two of the myths are A, that they are lazy and they are moody. Uh, uh, Lazy, I think, so they are very moody to be lazy. Yeah. If they have a picture, if they have the time, something happens to them, they're just, upright, ready before, anybody else, and they're pushy that let's go this, we have to do this. It is because they want it, something is interesting in that one particular activity, so suddenly their laziness goes off. So they are lazy because they are moody. This is what I want to say.
I think most of them have already covered. I don't want to really, I don't, I don't bust more. But I think, yeah, laid back attitude in terms of, and sometimes, I have experienced some managers coming back and saying it's so difficult to work with this with young folks. And I said, why? He said, you keep asking them questions, they just stare at you without any expression, without any expression. And I said, so why? I said, you should ask them the right questions. I said, I've tried everything. It's so difficult to work. So I think the solution is, of course, try to be more authentic and ask them the right question that brings the real self of them,
And
right?
that there is learning language.
Absolutely. So, for example, I spoke about I want to walk my dog at 3, so I'll be leaving at 3. So the question is, the one reaction of the manager would be, how the heck you haven't even finished the project, and you're planning to go out, and then you come at 9. But rather, the question can be, does it make you nice, happy to walk your dog? Does it de-stress you? Do you feel nice to walk your dog? And it could be anything. I mean, I remember during our times, and even today, we go down and have a cup of tea in a tapri. Why do we do that? We try to probably de-stress and burst out our emotions. And I think the same thing they are doing in a very different way and format. Probably the only thing is to collaborate, get to know more little bit about it. I think that's important. And end of the day, we spoke about being authentic, just straightforward. They need to know what lies for them, what is the purpose, does it align to the mission, does it align to their career. But let me ask everybody in the panel, don't you think that we also wanted that in our career? We needed that from our managers to be more clear about what we want to do, not to be pushy that, hey, jump in the water and start swimming. We need some mentors? I mean, I think yes, we all did. What is that? The only difference is they have come out so openly and then they can talk in social media without thinking too much about, oh, I'm resigned today and this is all because of my manager. I mean, we could never do that, right? And that's the difference, I think. But we all wanted that to happen somewhere in our also careers.
And one more thing I'll tell you is at times, I seek advice from my own team members.
who are Gen Zs, and trust me, your youngest hire, I think, is your fastest teacher. Right? So yeah. Okay, and with that, like one last thing again, one round. Okay, one piece of advice which you would like to give to Gen Z. We'll start with English, or maybe a parting thought. I would say.
Just open to learning and be as you are, as authentic as you are. But make sure that the world out there, today you are in Gen Z, but tomorrow you're going to get a competition which is going to be Gen Alphas and Betas. And you need to be ready for that. Just like we are getting ready for you guys, you need to be ready for the next generation. So make sure that you're empathetic, you're authentic, yourself, you're reliable at the same time. You are yourself to to ensure that you also need to assimilate with the previous generation, because who has been the innovators for you. If Pentium was not there, I would not have been working laptops today, and tomorrow you'll not be working on the mobile phones and the tabs just because of the previous generation. So we should be thankful.
One advice from my side is that, you know, I think I'll pick up a little bit from your, is your elder generations have done certain things, so they cannot be completely erased. So the processes or the mindsets, we have a consultative approach in taking your decision making, very important. Because the things that have happened in the past is because of that platform. There it is, you are there today, right? So have a consultative approach. Take the experiences from your elders or your experienced colleagues, and then go for decision making. So have a consultative approach.
I just feel that the Gen Z thing, what we are talking about, is overhyped. Eventually, we are all humans. We've gone through our own biological, psychological, social, the whole cycle. Okay, and we all are in the same ecosystem. So like we say that there's a lot that we want to learn from you guys, and we wish that we had that kind of traits what you guys have. Overall, you guys are great. You are helping us and even the organizations to grow, okay, because you're much more smarter. You all know exactly how to get work done, okay, and you all are vocal about things, which makes for the organization, it makes things very easy, like say for us to be transparent and work in a non-political environment. The only thing which I had mentioned earlier also, just be good listeners, okay, and don't run away from your failures in life.
Yeah, before I answer, my assumption is all of you want to become a leader in your life, right? Let's take it. So leadership is not about the likes, number of likes you receive. So my quick advice is, don't run behind those quick wins in your corporate ladder. Go for the depth. There are T-shaped learning, V-shaped learning, and I have my own research called as E-shaped learning. It's on LinkedIn. Refer it. It talks about how anybody, not only a IT professional, can become full stacker in your career. I want all of you to become that full stacker in your respective sector. And for that, probably don't run behind that. Probably there is a quick win which will benefit you for a while. A quick Khanabhangur is a Marathi word for that. It will get lost in no time also. But for the longevity and that depth is required to create that longevity, whether it's a career or your overall social life post career, post corporate life as well. So my request and sincere request, learn things in a very detailed manner. I believe I'm from again transition generation. Google gave me everything, and better Googling helped me create many things. Today, ChatGPT, I put it in a very very rustic manner. ChatGPT for me is a better Google, right? Now it will not take away everything from you. It will help you or enable you, but go in depth for that particular subject in hand, so that your maturity and longevity stays longer than required. That's my quick advice.
Yeah, Utkarsh?
I think the senior panelists have given ample and the most important advice for all of you. one advice which I feel could be relevant is, well, they have mentioned it, but just in a different word, if I have to put it, try to be patient. I think with the arrival of short or micro, content, and with the applications like TikTok or all the, everybody's watching reels. So watching reels has impacted our, span time, right? Our patience, it has impacted our patience too. So we need to, I think, work on our patience. That is one advice. And I think I must share the first word that I, taught my newborn son on the day when I hold you. Learn to be patient, because everybody, is these days everybody is becoming impatient, and once you are impatient, things fall apart. Everything, your relationships, your professional, life, and your personal life, everything falls apart if you are impatient. So try to be patient. That is one piece of advice.
Thank you. And with that, my God, what a lovely Saturday, right? Like, you don't get to meet such sharpest mind in the industry at one place and then gain so many insightful thoughts, right? And with the energy and the questions you guys have, you have been lovely audience. So thank you so much once again for joining, and grateful for the opportunity being given. So with this, I think, yes, sure.
I would like to thank you, Shweta, as well, for hosting this so wonderfully. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we bring the Leadership and Talent Symposium 2025 to a close, let us pause to reflect on the resonance of today's discussion. Our exploration of Gen Z in the workforce, redefining culture, career, and communication has underscored a powerful truth. This generation is not merely entering the workplace, it is reshaping its very fabric. With new ideas, bold ambitions, and a redefined approach to collaboration, Gen Z is charting pathways that will influence the future of leadership and talent for decades to come. This symposium has been a confluence of vision and wisdom, where ideas have challenged convention and perspectives have illuminated the path forward. On behalf of IIEBM and NHRDN, I extend our profound gratitude to all the panelists, moderator, guests, faculty members, and the students present here for their contribution to make this gathering truly remarkable. Thank you once again, and we eagerly anticipate your next visit to our campus.